Hello, and welcome to Stage, Screen, and In Between. I'm Helen. Today, we are at the fabulous Shawnee Playhouse in Shawnee-on-Delaware, Pennsylvania. And my first guest today is the executive director of the Playhouse, Midge McClosky. Midge, thank you so much for welcoming me here.
I'm so happy to be here. It's a nice surprise I wasn't expecting, and it's just lovely. Hi, everybody.
Well, when I saw Hello, Dolly last night, I said, this cast is so fantastic. Love the Playhouse. We just have to get these people on camera and find out more about them. So, Midge, give everybody a little bit of the background of the Playhouse.
Oh, my pleasure. So this beautiful historic building was actually built in 1904, and it was built by a man named C.C. Worthington, who is an entrepreneur and businessman, and he built this as a gift to the community. So it was meant to be a hall where you could have weddings and parties, and of course theater from the very beginning. And over the years, it has been home to many, many different theatrical groups, and someone named Fred Waring also performed here and did his music workshops here for a long time when he owned the Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort and owned the property here. So it's had a very historic and wonderful history. In 1978, the Kirkwood family, who are the current owners and executive producers, purchased the Shawnee Inn and Golf Resort and along with it the Playhouse. And they have been producing theater nonstop since that time. And I have personally been here for 15 years.
Wow.
So.
Isn't that fantastic? So tell me, how did you come about choosing Hello, Dolly as one of your first shows after the pandemic? Because you just had Pippin, didn't you?
We did. We just had Pippin. Truthfully, these shows were to be performed in 2020. So the way it worked is we held auditions back in March of 2020 and cast the shows, went ahead with online auditions and tried to sort things out because the pandemic was starting right while we were doing the casting, thinking, well, maybe this will pass and maybe it will go. And then we said, finally, okay, this is not happening. We're going to do them in 2021. But everyone who is cast, you have your role. If you want your role, it's yours. Good. So hold on to it for 16 months, and we'll see you later. We didn't know that. We didn't know it was going to be
something to look forward to.
So the talent that you saw last night, the phenomenal talent,
wonderful show. They
have been waiting to do these roles for a year. So
they had a lot of time to memorize their lines.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was selected because the gentleman who directed it, my dear friend Ryan Cook, who is also the set designer and the director, he wanted to do it. It's one of those things, when you trust someone artistically in a family theater like we have here, someone says, I really wish we could do this. We go, okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, Hello, Dolly is such a classic because you had Carol Channing, right, in the Broadway version of it, and then you had Barbara Streisand in the movie version of it, and it's just such a fun show.
Yes, very, very funny and very timely despite when it was first written.
Right.
It's very appropriate for all the times,
right.
and very, very funny, like laughing out loud funny.
Right. The widow trying to find a husband.
Yes, and the talent we have here. Helen, we're so blessed at the Shawnee Playhouse because of our proximity to New York and the fact that this is a great place to retire. So a lot of amazing, talented performers who have had fantastic careers, who may have decided, I want to have a child, I want to have a home, I'm done traveling. They will come here and they will find us. And I always say, performing is kind of like having a virus, like you have to feed your need,
That's
and
true.
so they come to us, and we are very, very blessed. We have enormous talent, and I'm so grateful for that.
So how many shows a year do you put on here?
That varies, but we do, in the summertime, 3 large musicals and then another large musical at Christmas. In addition, we do 2 or 3 children's shows, which are pretty large scale. And then we'll do a series of original works. We have original playwriting contests. So if there's playwrights out there, check our website out, theshawneeplayhouse.com. And, we do original musicals, plays, classics, and we co-produce with other groups that do not have a home. We are very, very blessed to have an actual theater in a time when not many small theaters like ours exist anymore.
Yes, and has such a history also. Well, thank you so much, Midge.
My pleasure.
And thank you for letting me find out more about all your talented actors.
Thank you. Thank you.
So look who I have here now. Dolly Levi herself. We have Sarah McCarroll here with us, and she did a super job last night. It was wonderful. You're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It is a blast. It's a blast being Dolly.
You know, you had wonderful mannerisms and what you do with your eyes and your singing voice. Very, very good. Wonderful. Really, you drew me right in.
We just came out of a very intensive rehearsal process, despite having a year and a half to get ready.
Did you do some of it on Zoom?
We did not. No, I think coming out of the pandemic, we just couldn't wait to be able to gather and be with people. Right. That being said, we did about a 2-week rush through, and so I'm glad you liked my singing voice because that was a little tired.
No, you were really, really very good. Now, also, you've played other characters here. You were in Oklahoma, right? Name some of the other shows that you've done.
Oh, some of my favorites, Oklahoma, certainly, Ann Eller. That was very special. She turns out to be a lovely character. But Miss Hannigan with Annie, oh my gosh, that's another riot. I like playing roles that are funny but with heart. So whenever those come around and I get the chance to do them, those fit right in. I think that suits my personality, funny with heart.
Yeah. So let me ask you, do you feel more in character when you're dressed? Because I know like Carol Burnett said that she didn't like to do anything if she wasn't in costume. How do you feel about that?
Someone had said my character was in my hat. Like they finally found what they were trying to do when they got a hat on. Yeah. But really, when you're running a show, when you first put on your costumes, you are lost. You're lost. Suddenly, that's another part of processing through lines and figuring out who you are. But then when everybody comes out in costume and you get to see that your town come to life or whatever it is, then that is what can solidify you.
So how were the nerves on opening night? Were they bigger than usual because you had been off stage for so long?
I think the gratitude was what overtook the nerves. There was so much gratitude to be able to survive a pandemic and be on these boards and be able to give to people, having an audience there. You just couldn't wait to give. So it wasn't as nervy as it was joyous. Yeah. It was a lovely.
You know, you got a standing ovation last night. The show had a standing ovation. I mean, you were great. I mean, everybody was so good, so happy to see theater, and it was just such a wonderful experience being here in the Shawnee Playhouse with all this talent. You know, everybody really had a ball.
It is. It's so much fun. And I think the audience feels the same way. They are so excited to be here. We can feel that. We are nothing without an audience. So as soon as they're here and giving us all of that love, and it's palpable. Yeah. So it's truly that synergy. And
So a lot goes into it other than the lines and knowing your character, because you had dancing you had to learn, right? And you have a musical director, right? And a choreographer, so you have to put all that together. Now, how do you like to work? Do you like to work, do you learn your songs as you go? Do you learn your lines first? What's your system?
Lines. I love lines. I absolutely love dissecting a character and seeing what that writer is trying to tell us through the words. That's where I go first. Right. Absolutely, lines. Yep.
Right.
Choreography is the last thing I'll want to learn. I'm not a dancer, but we had a wonderful choreographer, David Arsberger, and he was also our costumer. His creative vision was magnificent.
Yeah, yeah. You wear a lot of hats in theater, also in independent filmmaking, right? So now, are you from Pennsylvania originally?
I am, yes. I born and bred right here in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, so I'm a local.
Okay, so have you always had the acting bug?
Yes, yes. 4th grade, Mrs. Claus. That might have been the start. I remember it. Yep, I've always had it.
How important is it to you for the younger people to start young, if that's their, if they're inclined to the arts and theater? How important do you think it is for children to be involved in the arts?
I think children in any form of art is important. It doesn't need to be theater. Any art where your creativity is being expressed, and that's for anybody. It doesn't matter your age. Start now if you're interested. It does not matter. Just work with people that you respect and have knowledge, and soak it all in. Be creative.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and I know that you're going to pack them in. You're going to pack them in.
Thank you.
Bye now. I'm with Horace V, who's really Rob Howell. What a fantastic show you put on last night.
So fun, isn't it? Thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. He's
Thank
a
you.
big meanie. And are you like that in real life?
Yes. No. No, actually, I'm not. I have lots of people who say I'm too nice, and that's why it's so nice to get out and play someone who's sort of really,
Against character?
really against your character.
Yeah. So now, Dolly had to try to persuade you her way. And do you think that it's true in real life that men can be led by a woman who might be a little conniving?
Yes, of course. Women are really the smarter sex. I'm sorry. I know. And they do have the opportunity to lead men in the way that they like to be led.
So tell everybody a little bit about your relationship with Dolly. Well, Dolly is a widow, right?
She is.
And she's a matchmaker, and she's an auto mechanic. She's everything. She can shoe horses. I mean, just about everything,
Well-
as long as there's a buck in it, right?
Yep, right.
And she's determined to win you over,
She is.
right? And we don't want to tell everybody how it ends up, although everybody already knows. But you know what was interesting to me also? How you broke the fourth wall.
I did. And that was the director, Ryan, who wanted to add that back in. Well, I did it twice, but especially in the beginning of the second act with Penny in My Pocket.
Yes. We sing, and the audience really likes that. You know, some people are against breaking that fourth wall, but I think it really draws the audience in and makes them part of it. How do you feel about that?
I agree, and I think in this particular instance, it gave an ability to feel more about Horace, right? He's just not this mean guy.
Right.
You know, there is a little bit more to him, and I think that song really helps.
I love that song because it's how you start with a penny, and the penny went to, I don't even know if it was a quarter.
Right.
Then did it go to $1? And it was how the whole circle of how, because you're a businessman,
Yep.
right? And how you made it all work out of nothing.
Yes. And so, and really what happens is that you get to know Horace, and people feel a better connection with you. I think Joey got to do that a little bit as Cornelius, and break the fourth wall. And I think this show doesn't. Of course, Dolly breaks the fourth wall, but I think it allows the audience to feel a little more connection to each one of us.
You know what it is? It's a friendly show. It's a happy, friendly show, right?
Yeah.
It's uplifting because you've got the great music, and there's comedy, right? And there's wisdom in it. You know,
Yep.
it really has a lot. The costuming is great. The music is fantastic, right?
It is. And we had a great director, we had a great costumer, great choreographer.
Name them.
All right, Ryan. Great.
Putting you on the
Oh
spot.
my God. So Ryan Cook, the director.
They're going to kill you if you don't get this right.
No, Ryan is great. I've only worked with him a little bit, but he's really done a lot here and done a lot with the people who are here. He's really talented. David Arsberger, who did the costumes and the choreography, is talented in his own right on stage, but he was able to step off and really use his creative energy to really make us all look terrific and dance terrific.
Right. Now, this is an affiliation with the Shawnee Inn, right? With the Kirkwood family?
Well, the Kirkwood family owns both. So the Kirkwood family owns the resort and they own the Playhouse. And I think that allows everything to sort of coexist in harmony, right?
What's your favorite part of acting?
I really like the process. I really like sort of the rehearsal period where we're all discovering each other. We're all discovering sort of the arc of our characters and how they interact.
Do you ever have to get together with castmates other than your rehearsals and, say, well, can we run lines together or can we do these songs together? Do you do that?
Yeah, sometimes we have to do that. And especially if you have a scene where you really need it to click and you really need the timing to really go right, you need to spend some extra time with those cast members. And I know these cast members did that as well. Not only did I do that, but they spent extra time together to make sure that some of this was really clicking. Hat shop scene is really important.
Yeah.
Because of the ins and outs, and those are really important.
Well, thank you so much, and you were fantastic.
Thank you. Come to the Shawnee Playhouse, right? See Hello, Dolly.
I'm with Kristen Long, who played Irene Molloy. And how wonderful were you and how beautiful. As soon as she came on stage, I said, look at this woman. She is gorgeous. And then when she opened her mouth to sing, I was like, wow, she must be classically trained from NYU. Am I right?
Yes. Thank you. Yes, I was very blessed with a really wonderful music education from New York University, where I went for classical voice. So it's really wonderful to be able to continue doing what I love, as a hobby now, more than not. But it's been really, really wonderful.
Yeah. Well, you're originally from Long Island, right? So am I. So name some of the other theaters, not to discredit the Shawnee Playhouse in any way, but just quickly.
So I moved to Pennsylvania in 2006. So before that, I was mainly working on Long Island. And the main theater I worked at was Smithtown Center for the Performing Arts. And I did Into the Woods there and Urinetown and a number of other wonderful shows. So I do miss my Long Island theater family, but I'm so embraced and loved by this community, and I'm so thankful to have found my theater home here.
Yeah, you have this here now. What other shows have you done here?
I have done 2 other shows here. I did I Do, which is a 2-person musical following a marriage across a lifetime. Here opposite actually the director, Ryan Cook. And then during the pandemic, we did Church Basement Ladies, a second helping. We did it as an outdoor performance, shielded with socially distanced regulations in place. And the audiences were just so thrilled to get to see that.
The show must go on, right?
Show must go on.
So tell everybody a little bit about your character in Hello, Dolly.
So Irene Molloy is also a widow, and she is ready to move on with her life and be able to find adventure. And as a millineress, someone who makes hats, she needs to find a man in order to be able to adventure out without people judging her. And over the course of the time, she, I think, finds her way into not really caring what others think and wants to be an independent woman, but also may find love along the journey.
What do you think about wearing hats? You know, in the show, you own a hat store, and the hat looks wonderful. You have a wonderful costume. What do you think about? Would you love to see the comeback of hats?
I love the hats, although it's a little daunting in a show where you're just trying to make sure it stays on your head, all of the hat pins. But it really does add something to the overall feel and look of an outfit.
Of the outfit. It
Yeah.
really finishes it kind of at a disadvantage these days, right? Because the hair has to look great or else.
So we're going to bring back hats. I like this. Bring back hats.
So what are your tips for landing a man in the olden days? In the olden days, what tips did women give each other?
Oh my goodness. I think if Irene were giving that advice, I think she would pretty much say to be yourself and kind of show off what you have to offer. And if it's the right person, then that'll be a connection. I don't know. That's a really great question.
So what do you hope to do in the future with your career?
So I do perform pretty regularly, but I'm also a teacher. So during the school year, I teach. Right now I'm teaching 3rd grade, but I do hope to continue showing up and sharing the stage with all these wonderful people. It's been a real pleasure and feel so incredibly lucky and grateful to Shawnee and all of the wonderful theaters that have embraced having me.
It is. You know, it's amazing how when the lights are down and the theater, the lights come up and nobody's here yet and it's just the stage, it's hard to believe how, when all the actors come onto it, how alive it can become and how touching and moving it becomes. It's an experience here at Shawnee Playhouse. It's really intimate and it draws you in, but the talent of you actors was so phenomenal. I was taken by it.
Thank you. We feel so lucky to be able to bring this to audiences and to get to just do something that we love together with people that we love, and then we get to do it and share it with others. We are very, very lucky.
Well, the best of luck in your career.
Thank you.
And any of your students into acting?
They are actually. One of my former students is in Alice in Wonderland Junior, and my own children like to perform as well. So it's, the next generation of performers coming on up.
I am now with Joseph Joey Ambrosia, who played Cornelius Hackl. How are you?
I am so very well, Helen. Thank you so much for coming to join us here at the Shawnee Playhouse.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. You were fantastic last night from the moment you came up from the floorboards.
It's a fun bit, right?
Yeah, it's really a fun bit.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to mention your teammate. What is his name, the actor?
Oh, Jack Lagenza. Yes, he is playing Barnaby Tucker, and he's doing an absolutely fabulous job. Jack studies at Pace University in New York City, where I believe he's going for his BA in acting. So that is, a lovely talent that is coming up in the ranks. And again, we did this in a very short process. We mounted Hello Dolly in almost 2 weeks. Quick. Yeah, very quick to get all that material, but such fun to do that work.
So tell me, what is some of your past experience? And I mean, the way you can dance and kick and move and sing and act.
Helen.
You've been at this a long time, you could tell.
Certainly, yes, absolutely. Well, believe it or not, the Shawnee Playhouse is so fortunately like my home stage. I was born and raised in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. I was able to go to a performing arts high school, the Lehigh Valley Charter High School for the Arts.
Cool.
Yes, where I majored in vocal performance. And then so many summers spent here training and working with countless, wonderful directors and choreographers. And luckily, my career took me to New York City, and I have a wonderful management and agent in the city. And I'm so lucky to have gone across the country and continue to perform and just give love and light to people through song and dance and music. It's my complete passion in life.
Yeah. So tell our audience about your character, Cornelius.
Sure.
That's a name you don't hear much anymore.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely a nostalgic name. Yeah, absolutely. Cornelius Hackl, he's a 33-year-old chief clerk for Horace Vandergelder in his hay and feed store in Yonkers, New York. And he is just so ingrained in his day-to-day life of being this worker and this constant person for Vandergelder to just, boss around and toss around how he wants to. But he is just so committed to, living a happy life and trying to find the positive moments, or at least that's how I find him. But he's ready to explore, and he's ready to do something so much bigger and to grow and to go see other things. And then that's how we take our journey to New York City, of course, with Barnaby, and the whole adventure begins. That is Hello Dolly.
Yeah. Now, do you find a camaraderie with your character at all?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I'm so blessed to be playing Cornelius, especially here for our beautiful and loving Pocono theater community. We have such a wonderful, giving, public community that loves theater here in the Poconos. And to play this role, I feel so myself in this role. I feel so much like Joseph, and I feel so much like Cornelius. And that is so special. So yes, he is certainly in my heart. Yes, he's certainly a very personal character for me.
Yeah. Now, do you have a best buddy that you can be in cahoots with? Because in the play, you had, your coworker, but also somebody that you say, hey, let's do this, let's do that. Do you feel that helps make life a little more fun?
Of course it does. Everybody needs a best friend, right? Everybody needs a best friend, and my best friend, her name is Shannon. Hi, Shannon. We've been going. Shout out. We've been going through life together, much like Barnaby and Cornelius do. So yes, everyone needs that partner, that comrade in their life to give you levity in those moments that you need it, but also to enjoy life with you when you're enjoying life. Yeah.
So what are some of the other shows that you hope to do? Maybe some that are coming here?
Oh my goodness. Of course, an actor's work is never done, and you're always doing work, and you're always, finding new roles and passions and songs you want to sing, all those things. So I always say any work that I can do is wonderful, wonderful work, and there's so much great material out there that anything I'm blessed to step into.
And you traveled throughout the country performing, didn't you?
I have, yes. So luckily, throughout my young life, I've been able to work for, some really wonderful companies all throughout the country, whether that be on amusement park stages or Disney Cruise Line or regional theaters across the country. So it's been a wonderful journey singing and dancing.
Well, thank you so much. And, you know, you were part of the reason that there was a standing ovation last night.
thank you so
So
much,
you did a
Helen.
great job. Wonderful show. Everybody come down and see Hello Dolly at the Shawnee Playhouse.
Bye, folks.